Hi, welcome to week 11. I said last week that I was going to talk to you about wheat, but I've decided that the videos are a bit too long. So what I'm going to do is make a separate video, not immediately, but I will at some point shortly, make a separate video about wheat. I've been out for dinner 3 times this week. From several weeks not going out, I've been out 3 times this week, and I'll tell you about my week coming up a bit later. On Saturday, it was my sister's birthday, and we went out for a meal. And I decided, I was looking at the menu, and the only real thing that was there was either pate or a cheese souffle to start with. And then afterwards, the only thing that was keto was a steak. So there was also something called suckling pig. It was shoulder and leg of suckling pig. And it had some things that were not keto. So a gooseberry compote, so that would have sugar in it. And it had prune stuffing. So prunes, although it's fruit, really shouldn't have because it's quite high in sugar. But I decided to have that, and so I chose the souffle, the cheese souffle, and the pork. And the cheese souffle felt like it had something like wheat round it. I'm not sure. It was a bit strange. And the pork I didn't really like. It had, not sure if it was cinnamon or fennel, but those things I just don't like. So I hardly ate anything. I left all the potatoes, which was good. I left all the compote. And then my sister asked if I would share a pavlova with her, and I said yes. But it came with ice cream, and I really don't like ice cream, just general vanilla ice cream anyway. So I only had a little bit of meringue. So I was quite pleased that I didn't go too mad, and I did try something different, even though it didn't work out very well. It's just a bad choice of foods. And so I spent a lot of the evening thinking, oh, I wish I'd had the steak. But anyway, it was fine. It was all good. So I only slightly deviated. The other 2 nights, I was much better. I had the pate for a starter and the first meal, and the second meal, just olives. And then on both nights, I just had steak with garlic butter and green veg. So that was perfectly fine. And at one of the meals, one of my friends was saying that she couldn't imagine living without carbs. And I said I was exactly the same. If you would have said to me a year ago that I would go a year without eating any carbs in the centre, because I have the carbs in vegetables, but carbs in the scent of bread, cakes, biscuits, potatoes, rice. If you'd have said I wouldn't eat any of that for a year, I would never have believed you. I was really struggling. I knew I shouldn't be eating as much wheat, and I was really struggling with it. And I knew that wheat is addictive. Wheat is very, very addictive. And I knew that, and I was still struggling. And so I understand exactly what she means. Life without carbs just seems so impossible, especially when it's all pervading everywhere that you go is carbs, carbs, carbs. It is really hard. So the hard thing is not eating it. Once you get past the addiction, it's really easy. You don't need it. You don't even feel you want it. What is hard is general life out there, where there's carbs everywhere and you just can't have them or don't want them. What is better to the point. So it is about breaking the addiction, and once you do it, it is much easier. Today, my weigh-in is just me getting on the scales. You haven't got the little intro that you normally have because I had to be up really early, and there was a queue for the bathroom, so I couldn't waste any time. So we'll just go straight into the video in the moment. So let's go over and see what's happening. $14.2. So my starting weight in June 2017, if you've been watching the videos, you probably know this off by heart by now, £231.8. Last Friday was £199. Today, £198, and that's a loss of £1 in the week, bringing my loss since week 1 to £5.8 and 33.8 overall. Now, it hasn't been great because if you remember a few weeks ago, I was at 198, then I went up and then it came down and then it's gone down a little bit more. So I'm almost back to where I started 3 weeks ago. And the thing with keto is there's no exact formula. There's not someone that can say, eat this, eat that, eat the other, because everybody is different. We're all different. And you just got to test and try and see what works to find out what's good for you. Now, I have a suspicion, for me, I'm still eating too much quantity and I'm still eating too many veg, even though they're green veg. And probably protein, I'm probably okay. I'm probably okay with the protein, but maybe a bit too much in one go, possibly. I don't know. So I'm going to have to do some testing, but I've got a few things coming up over the next couple of weeks that it's not going to be the time to do it for me, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. My blood pressure this morning was 121/89, so that's similar to last week. And this week I made some fat bombs, and they were quite nice. I didn't expect them to be. I expected fat bombs to be very fatty, but actually it was nice. They were chocolatey and they had a little bit of a sweet taste, and that just helps them. Sometimes I have a whole one, sometimes I have a half. So yesterday I had half in the afternoon with my tea, and that was just, instead of maybe in the past I would have had a biscuit or something like that. It just felt like it took the edge off, and I thought maybe if after my supper I want another half, I will finish it. But actually I didn't. I was fine. I didn't need it, didn't want it, so didn't have it. Also this week, I bought some MCT oil. So MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides, and they say that this can help boost your ketones. So you have to start off on half a teaspoon a day. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been putting it in my tea first thing in the morning. So whilst I haven't been eating much from the night before through till lunch, I have been having the tea with the MCT oil. So it's not quite fasting, because fasting is for me is just water. But that's mostly all I've been having, other than my breakfast meetings, which this week I had 2. So I just stay keto. I have the bacon. I just have 1 sausage because it's probably got wheat in it, the eggs and the mushrooms. So this Sunday we have a memorial for my grandma, who emigrated to heaven last September. I've had to write another eulogy to read out in the synagogue, well, in the cemetery actually, because we're going to see the stone in place. So it's been quite an emotional week, and trying to think about things that I could say, and then asking others what they missed about her. So that's been quite emotional. And when everyone is here on Sunday and we've got family coming from other parts of the country, I'm not going to worry too much about the keto. So there are some things that I probably will eat on Sunday that I wouldn't normally. But I know that once Sunday's passed, once we're back on Monday, that's it, back on keto. But then on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, I'm off on a business retreat and staying in a hotel. And although I've asked for the meal to be keto, again, there might be some little deviations, but I'm not worrying about it, because in my head, this is a long-term plan, and I am not going to revert back to the past. So I will stay keto as much as possible. I'm not going to drive myself mad about it. It's about real life. We have to live, and if this is a long-term plan for me, I have to be able to look into the future and say, this is going to be my life. Things happen, and I will have the odd thing. Just get back on it. Get back on it. Don't go mad. No pigging out. That for me is key. So my challenge for this week is to just stay keto as much as possible. I'm not going to even attempt to do anything else or change anything else for the moment. So that's all for this week. Love any feedback underneath in the comments, either on YouTube or on the blog. Blog is JackieOnKeto.com, and look forward to catching up with you. If you want to join the Facebook group, then just look for Jackie on Keto in Facebook and you will find us there. So thanks. See you next time.